I think it's about time to go to war. Yeah. Yeah, the trash bandits. This has got to change. Yeah, so like I've said, things are going to start changing. We're going to start doing some things slightly different than what I have been doing them in the past. I don't know if you guys are going to enjoy it or not. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. It seems like a lot of extra work, but maybe it'll pay off. I don't know. But I know the way I've been doing things just hasn't really been working the way that I want it to work. So I guess that's when it's time for you to grab life by the short and curlies and make some changes. So we started doing that last week. We had that gallbladder removal. That was a scary thing. It took believe me when I say that it took a lot of effort to get me to go do that. You know, I spent a lot of years putting that off. But it's time for a change. Yeah, we want to talk about changes. This is one of the things that's going to change in the very near future, too. Things are changing. And I think I'm going to pursue this as a location for a new event that I want to do. Yeah, this is our county fairgrounds here. That's the Brown County Fairgrounds right over there, and this would normally be the parking area for the event. But I'm thinking that I want to line all of this handicap parking area up right here with vendors. Don't fret, there's still lots of parking over here. There's still adequate handicap parking available on this side, and then out there in those fields, that's where they park everybody during the fair that's not handicapped. So there would still be ample amount of parking out here. My issue that I think I'm going to run into is that there is very, very limited power. Let's see, does this thing have power in it? Or is this just... It's hard to do with just one hand. Alright, no electric, just breakers for the outside lights. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's any electricity available as far as outlets go out here, so maybe generators? I don't know. Things are about to change though. I'll explain more as the video progresses. There's so much space available out here. This could all be parking and or vendors. If I did something like this in August, I should be able to utilize all of this pasture parking out here and keep all of this graveled area available for vendors if we can get enough of them to come up here and be a part of it. That white building way up yonder was where I was at just a couple of minutes ago. And just in that area up there that had all the handicap parking signs, that would hold 130 plus vendors, depending on booth size. And then we could stretch this thing all the way out here. This has got grass on it, but this is all gravel, all the way down there where you can see the debris pile starting to build up a little bit. Wouldn't want to go that far. It starts getting a little rolly down there, but hopefully you can picture what I'm picturing. Now I think it is just a matter of getting a hold of this property, the fairgrounds, and seeing what the dollar amount would be that they want to charge me to use this for a weekend. I don't know, it could be astronomical or it could be ridiculously affordable, depending on how they view what I'm wanting to do out here in Brown County. These cats might love it and be like, yeah, we'll rent it to you for almost nothing. Or they could be like, you know, F off, we want 10 grand, go away. And I'm going to tell you, the reason that I feel that there needs to be change, over the last year, I've been doing a lot of evaluating on my personal self, reflecting, if you will. And it has been quite the life. I have to give credit where credit is due. But ultimately, I feel like I am not fulfilling my fullest potential. I feel as though my better years are getting away from me, and I have not done the things that I need to get done while I'm here on this earth. And one of those things is making a tremendous amount of money. Now, don't get me wrong, I've made money in my life. I've done very well for myself. But I feel like I've only put about 20% of my effort into where I've accomplished myself. I really don't feel like I've put 100% into my life. And that's part of the change that I think needs to happen, is that we need to, I think I got a good solid 10 years to really get my shit together and push hard. And I reckon it's probably time to do that. I reckon I should have probably had that epiphany when I was 40. But, you know, I mean, we all grow up at different rates, you know. Not all of us are super mature and ready to take on the world when we're kicked out to the wolves at 18, 19, 20 years old. Some of us, it takes longer. Some of us, you know, I've been having such a good time and not greedy, so the money didn't really matter to me. But again, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to see a new perspective on that. What happens if we spend the next 10 years just trying a whole lot harder? What happens if I spend the next 10 years actually putting in 100%? What if I spend the next 10 years getting up before noon? What impact will that have? That small change. What would that impact have? I don't know. But I think we're going to find out. And I think we're going to find out together. Oh yeah! Teamwork makes the dream work. I hope you guys enjoy it and come along for the ride. And I'm going to try to turn this camera on more often and share more of my life. I haven't, simply because I didn't think that my life was interesting enough to share it. But the more I watch around on this whole internet thing, this whole Google world, I come to realize that there's people interested in all kinds of things. So maybe my life is interesting enough to make a movie about. I don't know, but we're definitely going to find out. All right, I'm going to try to see if I can make contact with anybody here. I doubt if anyone's in, and I've got a phone number, but I'm here, so. No, they're closed for today. The fair board only actually operates during certain hours when in the off season, and that's what we're in right now, is the off season. So I'm gonna give them a call though and ask some questions and see what they say. They could just say no altogether, you know. I mean, who knows, you know. Typically most places like this, they like to rent the places out, so I don't know, we'll see. This is where they generally put their campers at when they have the fair, but I see a lot of power hookups over here, which would be wonderful for the vendors as long as it doesn't rain. Boy, there's a bunch of receptacles out here for people to plug into. Got a bunch of them, but there's not a lot at the same time. And there's way more space out there in the parking lot, but there's no power or water out there. Up here we have power and water, shade, rolling hills. I don't know. Look at that. That would be great though for everybody to be able to plug into. And they could all have power. I don't know. That's just not very much space though. And a lot of this is hillside right here. Ugh. What does no power mean for food truck vendors? What does no power and water mean for regular vendors? I think that means that the show's over by 7 o'clock. Because it starts getting dark here in August. It's going to be getting dark probably around 9. So we wrap it up around 7, maybe 8 o'clock. But I don't know what that looks like for the food vendors. If they can even do it. Most of the events that I go to, I can't really remember any that doesn't have electric or water. You know, all the fairs, the festivals I go to, I mean, they may have to run at 100 yards, but it's available to them. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that'll work or not. 20 grand worth of porta pots we could be looking at. Your average porta john runs roughly between $85 and $100 to rent. If we use 20 porta johns, 20 old porta pots come out to this event, we're looking at almost between $1,000 and $2,000 just to have facilities for people to be able to go use the bathroom at for this event, because it's a giant parking lot. There's nowhere to go poo. We're gonna go up here and check out another location real quick that I have used in the past. I've constantly been looking for places to put on hunting and fishing shows, expos, gun and knife things. And this trade days thing is something that I've been thinking about for a really long time. Probably 5 or 6 years. Ever since before COVID, I've had this thought in my mind that I wanted to do an event like this. Man, there's so many moving parts to it, though. I mean, there really is. There is an absolute ton of moving pieces to this. But I am up for it because, you know why? We're making some changes. Some things are going to change around this life for me. We're going to make things better. And we're going to do it together. All right, guys. So this is the building where it all started in. This is where we first held our very first Brown County Gun and Knife Show. You can put about 75 vendors in there. And it's grossly too small for what I'm doing now. But what about this? I'm looking at this parking lot. I think we could probably get close to 125 vendors right here in 10-foot booths. My only apprehension with this is that if we eat up all of that space for vendors, we become incredibly short on parking anywhere else. And I kind of feel like if I was doing something that was free for the community to come and participate in, that this would be a perfect location to do something like that. But with 2 entrances, there and there, probably 200 parking spaces at best. And I don't even think there's even 200 here. But I don't know. I don't think this is it. I don't think. They've added these pavilions in, which would give us a little stage area if I wanted to do some kind of live entertainment. I mean, and that's something possible too. And it's not out of the question to do some community concerts and stuff. It's just right now, I think that I need to focus on taking care of me, you know, that doing more, making some changes, and get myself into a better position to where I can do things for the community, because I do want to. There is no doubt about that. If I had the funds available to me right this moment, I would absolutely just come up here and book something and do something cool for the community, kids, the community, whatever. But due to the fact that funding is in fact limited, you know, that whole not trying hard enough, you know, 40, 50 years of only trying at 25% has left me in a spot to where, not broke, but I'm not in a position to just give it away. But maybe one day soon, we will be in that kind of a position, and I look forward to that. So that goes back to that, things are about to change. Trying harder, more effort, bigger push, 10-year push. I got a 10-year push right now. You know, I had a plan that I had been leading up to, but I don't think that plan's going to come together predominantly because I didn't make a 10-year push when I was 40. We got to fix this, so it's time to get after it. What do you think about this style of video that I'm switching over to? I don't know what I'm doing. I feel very out of place. You know, somewhere between this, I became the old guy. So now I'm the old guy out here trying to be a content creator. and it kind of has a weird feel to it. Should this new approach be its own new channel, or should we just ride the wave of therapy range like we have been? I know it's weird for me. I feel very out of fish out of water, fish out of waterish. I think it's going to be good. I just don't know whether I should upload these to therapy range, or should I go ahead and just start a whole new channel altogether? And I know YouTube really doesn't like the gun stuff, and I know that I've got to really work on watching my mouth. I tend to cuss like a sailor, and YouTube doesn't like that. The children, you gotta protect the children from the words. Protect the children from the words. If you want to know what has inspired this change, I'll tell you soon. Okay, so I had mentioned something a few minutes ago about what has inspired me to start making some of these changes, and I'm going to give you a hint. Oh, just a hint. That's all you get. Alright, this is the Mount Orb Sporting Complex. I got to stop in here for a minute. This is where I put on the Hunting and Fishing Expo. I left a couple of things here after the show last weekend, and I need to pick that stuff up. But this is the place. This is our indoor soccer arena. When I'm looking at this right now, man, I mean, how many vendors can you put on an outdoor soccer field? So there's 1, 2, 3. I would imagine there's 4 full-size soccer fields out here if we really needed them to be. That is a lot of space, and that is a lot of parking. I don't know. I think the odds are pretty high that these are going to be being used already. I would be very surprised if they would allow me to rent these in August, because I'm kind of shooting for like a mid to late August time frame. We've had several events that take place in this area that are not happening this year due to some construction projects going on in the villages. So there's a couple of open gaps in our summer events program that for the county that are making for some opportunities to do some events that I normally would not have. You know, I wouldn't want to go up against New Richmond River Days. I wouldn't want to go up against the Ripley Heritage Festival. Definitely wouldn't want to go up against the Clermont County Fair or the Highland County Fair or the Adams County Fair or the Brown County Fair or any fair within a county that touches us. I wouldn't want to go up against. So, like, daily vlogger guys, how do you deal with that? Do you use your phone to make your videos with, or are you using another device? How do you deal with that when you're getting a phone call while you're working your video in? Let me know in the comments, man. I got to figure this stuff out. I mean, do you guys like have 2 separate phones, or are you all carrying around a separate device with your phone? I don't know. Inquiring minds would like to know, though. You know what would be amazing is if somebody within this county was to actually build a facility to be able to actually put on events at. You know, I mean, we have event centers here in our community, but we really don't have anything that's truly multi-purpose. And you've got to have at least one decent building that's got clean bathrooms, heat, air, Wi-Fi, all of the good stuff, and of respectable size. I want to build these small areas to be able to put on weddings and receptions and graduation parties and things of that nature that only have, you know, 300 or 400 people show up to them at most. There's a cat walking down the street wearing body armor. You've got to go all the way to the city to start finding venues that will accommodate the space and needs that I have But then when you get to the city, you start running into city prices. I was doing some rough numbers on this show I'm working on right now. I mean, and I could easily burn through $15,000 putting this show together. I mean, and we're talking easy peasy lemon squeezy. No, that's just base. My most favoritist place in the world to hang out at. This really is one of my most favoritist places to hang out at. I will truly be a sad guy if anything ever changes with this place where I wouldn't be able to come here and hang out. I really enjoy stopping in here. The people that work here, the people that own the place, the people that come in and patronize it, just the best people the planet has to offer. I'm going to go in and see if they've got anything new on the shelves. Alright guys, so wrapping up here at the gun store. No goodies to be had today. Well, nothing that I was excited about anyway. They've always got goodies in there that I can use, but I'm trying to conserve on some cash right now. Got some things I want to do, some events that I want to put on. I need to pinch some pennies and make sure that we're able to do everything that I want to be able to do this summer. I got it. It's almost time to start booking my 2025 summer festivals. I've got a couple fairs that I'm going to do, a couple street festivals. So, yeah, it's time to start getting that stuff booked and making sure that I have plenty of room this summer. I got one more stop to make before we call it a day. You guys want to do this? We can do this. But we can only do this together. Oh, yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. So, I wanted to stop in here and talk to my buddy that owns this small business in my community about potentially seeing if he could supply me with trash cans for the event that I'm kind of wanting to put together. Let's see, I can rent them from Rumpke, but if I could bring another small community business into the fold and help them get their name about their business and what they're doing out there, and maybe get my trash cans for free or at a reduced price. I don't know. I think there's probably some people out there that really don't understand how capitalism works. Spring is definitely springing. Get the little Rabby out here. He's like 5 years old now. It's wild. Alright guys, so I think this is where I'm going to wrap it up for today. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this style of video. Do you want to see more stuff like this? Is my life interesting enough to share with you? I don't know. I really don't. I don't think so, but again, I've seen enough stuff on the old interweb now to lead me to believe that there's an audience out there for just about anything. You guys tell me down in the comments, but the main question that I have is, should I start another channel for this kind of content? Let me know what you guys think. And in the meantime, be sure to live your lives to the fullest. Anything less is an injustice to yourself and every single person around you. Peace.